Hello, I'm Dan from Acer Rentals and Sales, and right next to me is our 2021 Thor Magnitude GA22. Now today, just like always, I'm going to be showing you the inside, the outside, and everything in between, so you'll be all prepared when you come to rent. Over here on the driver's side, we have some stickers that show you the dimensions of this RV. So you can see that the height here is 12.5 feet. That means most places should be okay, just watch out for parking garages and drive-thrus. Most tunnels should be okay unless you're going into like New York City, for example. But you also have the width and the length here. Next up here is your freshwater inlet. This is going to be where you'll plug in the freshwater hose to fill up your water tank. There will be a sensor inside that will show you how full it is. And so if you want to use the shower, or the sink, or the toilet when you're on the road, you're going to take it off of the freshwater tank. Next down here is the generator. So the generator is going to power all the major electrical appliances inside your RV. This will be when you're not plugged in, so it's a substitute for a 30 amp connection at your campsite. This is going to run things like your TV, your outlets, the AC, and the microwave. This is also going to run on the engine gas, so as long as you're at least 1/4 tank full of gas, you can expect this to work. You will switch this on and off inside, and the only reason you'd have to come out here, except for like some service issue, is if you accidentally run the AC and the microwave at the same time. That's too powerful for this generator, and it will cause it to trip. If you do that, you just have to come out here, take the top off, and then over here is your breaker. This will flip back if you run both the AC and the microwave at the same time. So all you have to do, come out here, flip it towards you. Next up here, just some exhaust for the furnace and the exhaust for the hot water. So just expect these to be hot, don't touch it. And I'll explain the hot water heater and how it works inside. This small square here is the TV cable inlet. We'll give you the TV cable, so if you have full hookup at your campsite, you have cable hookup, you're just gonna take the wire, stick it in here, and then you can get all the local channels through cable. If you don't have cable hookup, there's also an antenna inside this RV, so you can just use the antenna to find all the local channels. Next up here is the power cord inlet. Of course, we'll give you the power cord. As I said, it's 30 amp for this one. Once you're plugged in, all the electrical appliances that the generator would run, you can run with 30 amp connection. And yes, you can run the AC and the microwave at the same time when you're plugged in. Below that is your gas inlet. This is just regular gas, no premium or diesel, just 87. Next, in the back of the driver's side, you have the dumping outlet. This will be where you'll dump out the black and gray waste tanks. So all you want to do is just take your sewer hose, we'll give you this. You just take the part with the teeth and clip it on clockwise onto the outlet right here. And then you'll take the part with the 90-degree elbow and stick this in the ground of your campsite or wherever else you're dumping. Then you have two valves here which are color-coded. You have your gray valve here. This is for your sinks and your shower, the gray tank. And then you have the black valve for the black tank, that's your toilet. Once it's pulled out like this, that means it's open. So if there were anything in the tanks right now, they'd be coming out due to gravity into the sewer hose. We recommend you pull out the black one first and then the gray one to flush it out. Once you're done, there will be sensors inside that will show you how full or empty the tanks are. You just push them in like this to close them. Then you can unscrew the sewer hose and put the cap back on, and you're done. Finally, in the back here, you have the city water connection. You'll use the same hose for the fresh water, but you'll stick it in here when you want to use direct water from the campsite into your pipes. So this will bypass the freshwater tank. This is when you're at the campsite, you don't want to take it off the tank. And next to that is the tank flush valve. This is just for us when you return, so you won't have to worry about the tank flush valve at all. In the back of the RV here, you have the service ladder that goes up to the roof. You don't have to do anything on the roof, it's just for service repairs. And right up there, you have the rear view camera that will go back about 8 feet. So when you put the RV in reverse, it will show up. Otherwise, you can keep it on the display when you're driving just for a safety precaution. Coming over here to the passenger side of the RV, we have one big storage area. So on the top here, we have your 30 amp power cord. So when you plug this in, all the electrical appliances will work. Over here is the sewer hose bag, as I just showed you. And next to that is another bag that has this white hose, which is the freshwater hose. This will be for the freshwater and city water inlets. You have this black wire here, this is the TV cable, and we'll also give you a 30 amp to 15 amp adapter. Next to that, you have two 110 volt 15 amp wall outlets. Just make sure the generator is on or you're plugged in for these to work. And next to that, you have the back of the fridge. So since the fridge is running the whole time, it'll start leaking water. It's just condensation, so it's not broken. Down here we have the propane tank, which is about 14 gallons for this RV. You have a meter here that will show you how full it is, but there will also be one inside. So this will last about 1 week if you keep it on the whole time before you have to refill it. And if you do have to refill it, campsites and truck stations will do it for you. This is going to power things like your stove, your oven, your water heater, and your fridge when you're not plugged into 30 amp connection. Now that we're done with the outside, we can go ahead and head inside. So you have your screen door right here that disconnects from the cabin door. There's a little fire screen right here. At the entrance of the RV, we have a lot of switches here. But first we have the fire extinguisher over here by my right. We have a smoke detector up above my head. And beneath the dinette, we have a propane and carbon monoxide detector. Over here, we have a lot of switches. This one here is for the awning. So for the awning to work, you have to have the keys out of the ignition. The parking brake has to be on, and the battery has to be on, which you can leave on right here. So the awning will run on the house battery. You just have to hold down this button. It'll go back about 8 feet total. And it's really only for shade, so if it gets windy or rainy, you should turn it in. So that are the lights. These are the LED lights for the awning, and this one here would be for the porch light outside, but this one doesn't have one, so this switch is useless. Down here is the entrance light. This will be the light right next to the steps right here. Below that here is the switch for the house battery. The house battery is going to be for very minor things like the lights or the awning, just minor electrical appliances. That means the generator doesn't have to be on, or you don't have to be plugged in for the lights to work, for example. The house battery itself is actually right underneath these steps right here. Entering the RV, you also have this control panel right here, which is probably the most important part of the inside. Over here is going to show you all the levels of all the tanks in the RV. So if you hold down LPG, that's propane. You can see that it's 2/3 here. So one empty, 1/3, 2/3 full. You just hold it down and the lights turn on. The battery, you can expect this to be charged. The fresh water is 2/3, and the black tank and the gray tank, as we saw outside, are empty. Below that here, you have the switches for the water pump and the water heater. So if you turn the water pump on, you can see this turns on. Once you turn on the faucet here, the water will come out. We recommend you have this off when you're driving, just in case a faucet opens, you don't want water going everywhere. The water heater you can turn on either with propane when you're not plugged in, or when you are plugged in with 30 amp connection, you can use electricity instead. So once you turn this on, you'll hear the exhaust going outside, and it'll take no more than 20 minutes to heat up the water. So if you want to take a hot shower, just plan 20 minutes in advance. And up here you have the generator switch. So this meter here will show you the total number of hours the generator has been running. You can keep track of your generator hours that way. We recommend you have the generator on for no more than 3 hours at a time. So 3 hours on, then 3 hours off. So just switch between those two if you want to keep it running. If you want to turn on the generator, you hold down stop first until this red light turns on. That'll prime the generator. Then you just hold down start. And there you go. It'll take no more than 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Once you hear the microwave beep, you know that everything will be running. For the AC settings, you have 2 knobs on the unit on the roof here. So this here will just change the temperature itself, and this will change if it goes on the fan, the gray, or the actual cooling here. So you just turn it. The more you go, the higher it will be. Next, I'll show you how to find channels on the TV. So once the TV is on, you're just going to hit source right here and make sure the input source is on TV. Select that, then go to menu, go to channel, then you can switch between air or cable. Air means the antenna, or if you were plugged into cable, you'd switch it over to cable like that. So we're on air, then go down to auto scan, and it will find all the local channels. To my right here, we have the kitchen area. So first off, we have this little cutting board / extra kitchen space here. You have a standard kitchen sink. This doubles as a cutting board as well. Next to that, we have the stove here. So just going to take this glass top off, then set this to the fire option to light it, and then hit the burner and it'll spark it. Same thing goes for all 3 burners here. This will be for the oven, The temperatures and everything will be on the knob here. You have the lights here. This actually is just a drawer. And once you're done with the stove, just wait a few minutes before you put the glass top back on. Otherwise the propane might get trapped in there and the glass might shatter. This here is just a standard house microwave. Just make sure when you're running the generator, AC in the microwave, not at the same time. And next to that we have the fridge. The fridge is just a standard fridge with a freezer on top. And this will be running on propane when you're not plugged in. Once you do plug into 30A connection, it will automatically switch over to electricity. In the back here we have basically the master bedroom. You have mattress here, privacy curtain that goes all the way across here. Storage overhead. You have a skylight, and down here you have the control panel, and we'll give you extra fuses in the cab in case anything blows. Next to the bed we have the bathroom. So first of all you have the toilet down here. It just functions like an airplane toilet. You just have to push down that pedal here, make sure the water pump is on. The toilet paper here is RV specific, so you just want to go to the camping section at Walmart or campsites, they'll sell the toilet paper for you. We'll also give you little bottles of solution for the toilet, just in case the smell might come up. Since it's directly connected to the black tank, you just pour this down there and it'll freshen up for you. Apart from that, just a regular bathroom sink and a bathroom shower. To work the windows, the blinds are just push up and pull down. And you just want to flip this latch down to open the window. Over here is the dinette area. It has seat belts enough for 2 people, and this actually turns into a bed as well, and I'll show you that right now. Down here you have a little latch for the table that will loosen it. You just flip it to the left here. Then you can push this down. And finally you just move the cushions across like this, and you have your bed. Up front here we have the overhead bunk, so you have another sleeping area over here. You just want to take this cushion, lay it across here, and then the ladder here will latch on to these little black latches here. Also in the front here we'll have the manual. We'll have this little envelope that'll have the registration, and we'll also give you extra fuses for the fuse box just in case anything blows, as I said. Front cab of the RV is no different than a Ford truck. So you have everything here is just like a regular truck. You have your AC here. This display right here, you can have your radio, you have your Bluetooth, you can use your rear camera when you're driving as well. And right by my left foot here we have the parking brake. You just push down with your foot and then you have the release right here. That's all I have to say for our 2021 Thor Magnitude GA22 model. If you have any questions on the road, you can always call the number on the keychain for 24/7 roadside assistance. But other than that, I've been Daniel from Ace RV Rentals and Sales, and have a great trip.